There we go. We are live.
We
All
are
right.
live.
Happy Friday.
Happy
It is
Friday,
Friday.
ladies.
Thank God it's Friday for real, for real.
Yes. And for the working folk, it is Labor Day weekend. So we got a good 3-day weekend
Oh, it
going on
is.
here.
Thank you, Jesus.
hmm
I don't have
We definitely needed that. Definitely needed that. So come on in, family. Happy Friday. You know the drill. Once you come on in, say hello, send up a greeting. Let us know where you are in the world, what city you're watching from.
I'm
We
watching
always
from
encourage
Atlanta.
you to
Dunwoody.
tag and share. Tag 3 friends. We're doing tonight kind of a health and wellness self-care check-in. We want to know how you guys are doing. How are y'all doing? Is everybody good this week? Did you have a good
I'm
week?
doing
Talking
good.
us?
Yeah,
I can
y'all
tell.
on the
I've been
screen.
I'm sharing. Hold on.
Trying to share on
Let
my
me
computer, but it's not working.
take a minute and share too.
I just shared.
Good job, Joya.
Thank you. That's 2 weeks in a row. I'm on a roll.
Yay. And while we're sharing, we will also take just a moment to acknowledge our amazing leader, Mark Moore Jr., who is the author of All Things YLC. We thank him for this opportunity, this platform to be with you guys. Hey, Latasha. Now, I'm also sharing to all my different groups too. I have like 100 different Facebook groups that somehow, I don't even know how I ended up in 100 Facebook groups, but I'm in
Are
there.
you
So I'm
literally 100?
like literally 100
Wow.
Facebook groups. Sometimes I think Facebook just be adding me to groups or people just sneak me into their group.
People do.
Do you have to accept all ads?
I don't even remember accepting them, but guess what? We getting shared into all those groups tonight.
Might as well.
I know that's right. Pays to be connected.
So tonight we're going to be talking about a few different things. We're going to be doing some health and wellness check-ins with you guys, find out who gained some weight during the pandemic, who took some weight off, what's working for us, what's not working for us. How are we staying connected with our friends and family members and all of those cool things? But before we do that, I'm going to kick it over to Joya for a special part of our segment.
No, again, how are you ladies doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I'm super excited that it's Friday.
Me too.
I'm excited. But I wanted to talk really quick. I know, again, we're talking about health and wellness, which is so important. I love it. It makes me wake up. This is my feel good. I love talking about health and wellness. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about before we got into that, we all know just a week ago, maybe 3 hours later, we got off our live, and Matissa sent us the text and told us that our Black Panther had passed away.
I know, right?
Yeah. Like, it
was so sad. Thanks, Natasha. Go ahead.
It was so like it really, I don't know why, but that one really took my breath away, right? And I started thinking about it. And the moment I started reading up on him and just different things that he went through, because some things like you saw, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you guys saw the same things that I saw, like, oh, he suffered in silence. But it wasn't. Like, he wasn't suffering in silence. Like, he had friends and family surrounding him the entire time. And so the one of the things that I found myself doing was I started repenting. I was repenting. I was like, Lord, forgive me for all the times that if I stubbed my toe the wrong way, I'm like, oh Lord, life is over.
Right.
And this guy he had cancer for 6 years.
4 years.
4 years.
But colon cancer.
Colon cancer for 4 years. And not only did he have colon cancer for 4 years, he continued to work.
Yeah.
He continued to give us amazing work. We got Black Panther when he was diagnosed with cancer. I think he was like
but I think that's
2 or 3. Go ahead, Matissa.
I was going to say, that's what I heard somebody say that I really appreciated, because it hit me pretty hard too. But what they said was, everybody's talking about him dying, but in fact, he was living.
He was
living his best life.
Literally his best life.
Yeah, he was doing his best work for the good of us. Like, we were able to enjoy it. So that just gave me a really different perspective, you know, on kind of how he lived his life.
Right.
He
was living his dream. Like, and so, and that was the thing too. Like, am I really living like the reason why God created me? Am I doing that?
Yeah.
Like, am I really living in that for real? Or am I making excuses? Am I like, what is going on? So that was the first like aha moment. The second one I got for me, and I want to know if you all agree. The second thing was because he had a circle and they didn't leak anything.
Absolutely.
That was huge.
They didn't leak anything.
They didn't what? They didn't leak. No, we didn't know.
No.
So it was not like that. We knew that he was his friends, his family, his doctor. Like, he had a circle that didn't say anything. And so I'm like, Lord, I look within myself, like, am I that type of friend that someone can really, really trust me with something like that and know that I'm not going to go out and say anything? Like, I wasn't thinking like, oh, let me evaluate my circle. No, I was evaluating myself.
Sure.
I was evaluating myself. And then the last thing that I really it made me mad, right? So, you know, I go up and down. I didn't like how people were fake. My whole thing now is fake fist pumping. And I saw someone that is she's kind of famous to us in our world, not to the whole world, but to our world. She's kind of famous, right? And she said one thing. She was like, and I don't know, did you all see when I think it was in April, and I could be wrong, when he what was it? The baseball player that he played
42, Jackie Robinson.
So he was doing like a tribute to him. And he had gotten really skinny and everything like that. And so I didn't see it. Like, I saw it after he died. I didn't see the picture. I saw it after he died. But I saw this lady, and she was like, you know, oh my God, people need to understand. People need to learn how to be nice. And, you know, they talked about him. But what came into my mind was, but did you go and check those people? Because we can bully people and not even really believe that we're bullying them. We can be mean, we can be rude to people and not even believe it, or we can see someone else doing it and not saying anything. And so I was just like, there's no way anymore that I will be involved in stuff like that, because I'm like, Lord, I just want to be right. Like, his death messed me up. Like, his death has been like the most impactful of a celebrity in a long time, like since Michael Jackson.
I mean, because when you think about it, like, he changed like Black culture, like, and he made some advances for us, and especially in this time where we're having so many, you know, racial issues and things. Like, one of the things I saw in a documentary is that, like, the films that he made, like, it wasn't usually when you see a cast of a lot of Black people, they label it a Black film. Right. But Black Panther was accepted universally. And that was huge for us. And then, you know, just the fact that he was, just like you said, Joya, if I get a stubby toe or if I break a nail, like, I'm ready to quit and give up on the world.
Life is over.
He went through all of that with cancer. And colon cancer, I know, is very painful.
Yeah,
it is. It is. And so, of course, I just wanted to, like, it just bothered, like, of course you're seeing it, it's everywhere. And so he encouraged me. I'm trying to think of the quote that he said, but it was basically, again, what I was talking about, like, when I die, and people say it all the time, like, I want to die empty.
Yeah.
And I believe that he literally died empty. Like, it was, I don't know. Like, what are y'all thoughts on that?
I think the interesting thing for me is I was just sitting here thinking about if he knew perhaps that his life would not be as long, because I do know when they were talking about making a Black Panther 2, he opted, you know, he wasn't mentioned as the potential lead. And I'm wondering if that's because he knew. And so because he knew, you know, that he potentially could die, that he really started, because by the time you find out you're stage 3 or 4, it's pretty far gone. Like, they could catch it really early, as you all know. But by that time, it's pretty far gone. So my point is, I wonder if because he knew there was a limit, that he was just going to squeeze everything into it.
Yeah.
And the point that you made earlier, even though for us, we may think we've got however number of years left, we all have a limit. We just don't know if it's 4 years or 40.
Right.
But with
Exactly.
having that same sentiment of trying to do everything we can in excellence, and being as kind as we can, because he wasn't just a great actor.
Right.
He
Yeah.
was a kind
Person. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
a lot of people said about him. And there was one interview that they showed, and it was like on the red carpet, and they were asking about, you know, would you do
Teresa, I
Black
saw
Panther?
that.
Pardon me?
I mean, go ahead. But I'm sorry. I saw that one, I think.
Oh, about the Black Panther? Would he do Black Panther too? And he said, I died.
I'm
He said,
dead.
I died
Yeah.
3
He's like, I'm dead.
And they were
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it's so morbid that he said that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think what was most impactful about his life, and I didn't know him that well until Black Panther, but he did so many other movies, and he did movies that I saw, and I just didn't recognize.
And you
him.
didn't recognize it was him,
Together,
huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
You said what?
You like didn't put 2 and 2 together, like with James Brown and Black Panther. I don't know why I didn't put those two.
Yeah,
together.
I mean, like
Yes,
he had a long list of his discography was long, but what I loved about him most is that he was like visiting with other cancer patients. Like he was the, you know, with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, like he was
Right.
somebody's wish, and he would go to those kids, and they were like, I just want to meet my superhero, and
Right.
they have cancer and he has cancer, and like he
Wow.
never even disclosed to even them in those hospitals that he would go to, and I felt like he served until his last moment. Like he kept going. Like I think that speaks volumes to the character that he had, even through, you know, and I'm not familiar with it. You said colon cancer is very painful, that he had to go through his sessions of therapy or whatever it was and still push through. And I know that they had rumored that, oh, he was like, he wasn't well, he had lost too much weight, or he was skinny, but nobody really knew. And he fought through all of that.
Right.
I think that was admirable of him. That it really, it leaves you with the perspective, like everybody was saying, he was such a nice person. Everybody that worked with him, that's all they had to say about him.
That's
was those
all,
glowing
yeah.
reviews that he was so nice. And it makes me wonder, if you know you're going to die, like how nice would you, what would you change about your life that would be lasting and impactful if you know you have 4 years to go or 2 years to go?
And for me though too, it's because I've experienced, you know, I'm gonna say so many deaths, but it seems like I've experienced so many deaths, right? It makes you evaluate how you treat other people. Like that's my whole thing. It's like I got to treat people like not even the way that I'm supposed to treat people, but like the way that I know that the Lord wants me to treat them. Not how I want them to treat me, but how the Lord wants me to
golden
treat them.
rule.
Like, because it's just like, oh my gosh, like, you know, all these people were. I saw Michael. Is his name Michael B. Johnson? Yo,
Jordan.
Is that his name?
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, so I'm putting it right here. Basketball players. I knew he had a basketball players today. But he was saying like, it's too late. I wish I would have told you this. I wish I would have said this in history. Yeah, and I was just like, oh my God. So this one shook me, and you know, I wanted to talk to us about. I wanted to talk to us. Go ahead.
I just wanted to insert one more thing that I was thinking about when he was going to see the other cancer patients. I think it's amazing that he didn't project what he was going through on them.
Right.
He gave them their moment. You know, sometimes we do that. People tell us what's going on. You're like, girl, yeah, but you know what's going on with me, this, and that. But he allowed them to have their moment. And even in his pain, he was still their superhero.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think about that. How many people are we superhero to, even when we're dealing with so many different things and not projecting everything we're going through? I'm going through this or that. Well, we're all going through something, all of us.
Right.
But there are moments when God calls us to be the superhero. You step in and help. And I think that's part of purpose. That's purpose.
Yeah.
Right. I'm pretty sure his family and his friends saw the brokenness and the hurt and all that. But when he got out, when he went out, they saw that superhero. So yeah, that's
right.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's cool. So one of the things I wanted to talk about too, is we're discussing, you know, like how we're doing for real in the pandemic. We know this has lasted a lot longer than many of us anticipated. Some of us are still kind of quarantining and doing all of that. And so like, what are people doing? Like, how are you guys staying connected? How are we using you know, digital media? How are we building community through technology? what are some of the things that you guys are doing to stay connected to people and like really check on them and make sure they're doing well?
I think for me and my family, like we're big components of seeing each other, and like all of my family is in Michigan except me. So like for my mom's birthday, that was in April, at the end of April, we did the big Zoom birthday party, and like cousins and aunts and people from California and Ohio, like all over. We were all in this one big Zoom. And so of course, mommy not having the technical skills, like we had to set her up on a computer so she could see everybody. And it was essentially a surprise party. But it was now like I FaceTime my mother all the time, because normally I'll call her, I'm cooking, like, Mom, I don't make this, and just busying myself. But now I make a conscious effort to FaceTime her so she can see me. And like she always says, oh, it feels like a visit. Like, you know, it's just you do a little bit more where you have to now see people. And it's so odd for me because I've seen, you know, friends lately, and it's like you want to hug, and it's like I can't even hug you yet. And so you see people saying, you know, one of these days you're going to hug, but it's just valuable, I think, to have that FaceTime through technology to see people where, as before, you wouldn't normally think to do that.
My mom is not technologically savvy either, but one day she snuck up on me. She's like, I saw your little green light on the Facebook. So she messengered me.
Wow.
I'm like, what are you doing? You figuring out technology? She's like, well, I did my Zoom call on Sunday and I saw you were on. I was like, how you figured out I was on?
I love it.
I think it's so cute because she tries to act like she doesn't know stuff, but she knows stuff.
Right.
She's killing me. And sometimes I'll like FaceTime like my kids, and like I'll just it's weird because I just like have them on the phone just sitting on the desk next to me. We don't even really necessarily be talking about nothing, but like mommy said, it's like feeling like a visit. They're just like right there in the room with you, and you're, you know, working and talking.
That's sweet.
My sister and I do that almost every day. Like she'll be at work and she'll just FaceTime me, put me on her desk, and she'll just be working. And like I'll be working and we barely look at each other until we say something like, what? And then it's just like, but she's there with me. I'm at work and she's at work. And that's pretty cool. But we use that all the time. And even like in our group text, you have that feature to FaceTime in a group text when everybody has an Apple style.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just hit FaceTime and it's just like you can see each other and it feels like a true visit. And I love that.
I would say the same for me. We've been just intentional. Lawrence's family, he has kind of a big family, and we do a Zoom family thing every now and again. That's cool. My two best friends and I set up this Bible study time where we come together once a month and we do Bible study together. So that's going to be really good. Bible study and prayer. We were meeting just kind of to chat, but now it's changing to Bible study and prayer. So that's good. And then the last thing, I set up a book club, virtual book club, and just said anybody who wants to join. So there's women from all over the country.
Really? I don't even know about your book club.
Yeah, we get together every week. So if anybody's interested, check it out on Facebook. But it's people from everywhere.
It's on your page?
It's on my page, yep. And I just posted the newest book club pick, but people don't know each other. But we literally talk about everything.
That's so cool because like I've been reading more and doing more books on audiobooks, but like what are you guys I mean I do the book with the YLC book, like so that's why I'm going so I'll have 2 books that I read a month, but it's not you know, we engage on Saturday mornings, but like the one I read by myself, I just read it by myself.
Yeah, and Adelia's in it. She can tell you about it, but we read all kinds of books. So we read fiction, nonfiction. We're going to do a murder mystery. The next book is about 5 women getting together in Appalachia in Kentucky. So I'm trying to make it broad.
Yeah.
But again, it's great because we talk about.
So it's under your page?
Yeah, it's on my page.
Okay.
But we talk about family. And let me tell you this, y'all, somebody would know this. Somebody got the Holy Ghost through the book club.
Come on.
That's awesome.
So
yes.
Some everything. Right.
And that's a really good, really creative way to like reach out and stay connected to people.
I love it.
Or meet new people, because she said that everybody don't know each other. That's really
so
good.
dope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love everything about it.
Because I always worry about like just people, like there was a young lady who called me the other day and she's, you know, she was just lamenting that, you know, she's single and, you know, she's just like alone. Yeah. And, you know, it's really hard, especially if you're shy and you don't really know, you know, who you can really reach out to, who you can really talk to. But how many people are, you know, at home, like really with no outlet or no circle of friends, or, you know, sometimes people even, you know, because we're in pandemic, people have got, I know I've gotten a lot busier. Like, does everybody really have time to kind of sit and talk with you and stuff? So that's really creative and that's really great. And I love, the other thing we started doing is we downloaded the House Party app, and it's a game where you can like set little game nights and stuff and do Pictionary,
I've seen that.
and all that stuff. Like, that's a really fun one to do. I started doing that with some of my old coworkers and like reconnecting with them, because you know, you miss everybody. But being in this digital age, like Bishop Travis said, man, if this pandemic would have happened 20 years ago, we would be lost.
That's a good point. That's so true.
Yeah, without technology and stuff. And what's so funny is we knew about video conferencing and technology and stuff, but we never really utilized it as much as we do now. But it really is one of those ways that we can kind of stay connected. So if you're out there in digital world, Olivia, it's called House Party. You can download it to your phone, and up to 8 people can participate in a particular game session. It's really, really fun. You can play Uno, you can play Pictionary. There's a chip and guac game, but I don't really like that. But anyway, the other parts are fun.
You might like it.
I thought you liked all things guacamole.
Right.
I do. Which actually brings us to our next thing that we're going to talk about. Who packed on some pounds during this pandemic?
What is that?
I used to eat chips and guacamole every day. Like, that was my thing. It was chips and guacamole all the time. But I remember, like, I think I actually started putting on weight, TBH, before the pandemic, because in December, I don't know what I was going through. I was going through something, but I was like eating way late at night and all that stuff, and I put on a whole bunch of weight. And like, at the time, I didn't really care. And then when the pandemic hit, I really didn't care. So, and the only thing that made me start caring, usually I wear, I like leggings and stretch pants and pajamas, right? But then they were starting to get a little tight.
When your stretch pants get tight, that's the problem.
Let you know.
The leggings ain't tight no more.
Well, I was the same way, especially at the beginning, because, you know, they were like, buy all the food you can. So I was buying it and eating.
Right.
I know.
Eating all the treats, eating all the cookies and ice cream, everything you bought.
Snacks, all the non-perishables, which are all processed, you know, a lot of the processed stuff. So then we were just kind of hunkered down. So we were making a whole lot of stuff. And so I packed on a lot of pounds at the beginning of the pandemic and loved every bite.
Now you have a great transformation.
The Lord is kind.
Yes, he is. He is kind to those who get up and jog and run.
That's true. So true.
That
I
is
think
so
for me,
funny.
I just like it's on and off, because like I have to be in a mental capacity or space to just work out and do it, because I know I can do it. So it's just like, now my birthday is this month, and I'm like, man, I should have worked out. And then I started, I think I jogged maybe 3 days. I was like, no, I don't want to get up early anymore. So it's just like, I'm not there yet mentally to do it, but this is like the best time when you can really make your own schedule and do what it is that you want. You can work it in. And I know, Dr. Matisse, you get up at 6 a.m. and run? Yeah, God doesn't call that for me. Like, he's not looking for me to get up at 6 and do nothing but maybe turn over and pray, go back to sleep. But I can't really say that I've packed on pounds, but I've not lost any. That's for sure.
I've gained 3 pounds and it won't go away. I've gained 3 pounds.
3 pounds.
No, that's a lot for me, because I was really consistent. And so I gained 3 pounds when I was in Connecticut, and I didn't have my car anymore. So I was door dashing, Uber eating, and all of that. And it just won't go away. And like, I'm not the type, my body, I have to work out. I can't eat. I can like, if I eat right, I'm just not gonna gain. But if I don't work out, I'm not gonna lose weight.
Yeah.
So it's here to stay.
The same way.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I think that happens with age too. Because like when I was in my 20s, man, all I had to do was stop eating French fries for a week and I would lose 5 pounds.
You can drop 10 pounds.
Now,
Like
if I think about a French fry right now, I'll gain 5
Gain 1.
my thing has always been I had to move in order for me to lose weight. Like always since I've been trying to lose weight.
Me too.
Like
that's a metabolism.
20s, 30s,
jumpstart.
all of that. Yeah.
And for me, the thing that's interesting is my workout impacts my eating.
Yes.
So, I don't know if we're going to segue into losing pounds, but one of the things that I started doing, like you all were saying, I was never motivated to lose weight. Like I would lose it for a minute and then I would gain it back.
Yeah.
So I changed what I was focusing on in terms of my motivation. So I did a vegan challenge. And because other people were in the group, I felt like because I was leading them, like I had to do it. So that became my accountability. And then I have a friend that I'm doing this half marathon training with. And because I had to make sure
that will drop pounds off of you. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when I started doing those together, and then the running, it wasn't about losing the weight. It really was about, can I discipline myself? And and then I think more clearly.
I was gonna say it clears your mind. Oh,
it does.
Gosh.
It does. So I don't even look at the scale anymore. I know I've lost. I know I've how my clothes fit, but I don't.
That's
weigh
so
myself.
cool.
But you can tell seriously, Matisa, I felt like I could tell when your mind shifted. Like you were fine, whatever you would do it, but it seemed like your mind just shifted and you just kept going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what it starts with. Like you have to have
it does.
Yeah, no, that's true. But it doesn't feel good and we've all been there where you lose it for a little bit and you're motivated for a little bit. Yeah. And then one thing can really set you off. Sure. But then there really is a point of, I think, no return. And Dane, I know you've been on this same journey. So I don't know if you all have experienced that where it's like one day, like you said, Joy, you're just kind of like, no, this is the new me. Like this is what I do now.
Right.
That's so good.
That's a good feeling.
For me, it was I did care about the scale. I do get on the scale every day. That is my motivation. But I also wanted to do something that was going to change for good, because as you get older, your metabolism changes. And so what worked for me was, because like I said, I love dessert as an appetizer. I was eating way late at night and just eating the wrong things. And it wasn't that I was eating a lot, but I was eating the wrong thing. So you can't survive off of, Haagen-Dazs and chips and guacamole. So what I started doing, I went to a fat doctor because I was going to cheat. I was going to be like, I need something to make me not be hungry. Right. But I realized the problem wasn't that I was hungry. It's that you're eating the wrong stuff. And you have to treat food like the fuel for your body that it is. So what I started doing was just taking what I should be eating and breaking it down into smaller meals 6 times a day. So I eat every 3 hours. But I don't sit down and eat like a Chick-fil-A meal, a Panda Express, or whatever. I sit down and I eat, a nice portion of, meat,
protein and vegetables,
whatever, or any combination. And I still have my French fries like I want to, but again, it's smaller portions. And then I eat multiple times a day because I needed something that was going to jumpstart my metabolism. But like you said, Matisa, that was going to be sustaining, because I didn't want to feel like I wasn't, like I'm being deprived of anything, because I know if I feel like I can't have it, then I want it even more. But you guys, I haven't had like a Mountain Dew in like,
wow, that's big.
I would inject it in my veins.
Right.
I don't want it anymore. And it's like you said, Matisa, like your eating habits, and your exercising habits kind of work together, and they determine I'm not even hungry like that. Or, I used to eat out of stress and boredom too. But now if I do, still have those feelings, I'm eating the right thing. So it doesn't have the same effect as like binging on the Haagen-Dazs and stuff.
And then as soon as you start losing weight, you don't even want to eat wrong. It's like, I'm not going to mess up the progress I've made. It's like you said, when you run, you want to do what's right for your body. So it's just like, or you can't miss a time running. Like, do you run every day or like every other day?
5 days a week.
5 days a week. So you're not going to want to miss any of those 5 days because it's going to throw you off.
But let me tell you this, it has gotten to the point for me where there is that sort of, because I'm a task oriented person too. I have big goals. So I look at my calendar every day. I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to run 5 miles tomorrow. And that motivates me. But I love it so much that I can look outside and think, man, I get to run tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
that's how I was, Matissa.
I
was buying anywhere to run. I don't care if I went out of town.
Mm-hmm.
I would track it like, okay, this is 3 miles, this is 5 miles. I love, like, I would see roads like, ooh, I bet this would be a good road to run on.
Yes.
Like, I was addicted to running.
Yes.
I was so
when you start measuring how far distance is when you see it, it's like, oh, I bet this is 2 miles. If
that's about a mile.
That's about a mile. I know I can do that. Oh, I'll be fine with that. And I used to tell myself, when I started running,
that's good.
I was like,
fast walk is the same thing.
If I ran out of gas or if I had to go somewhere, I would be okay because I could run. I could run it. I know I could run this distance, the distance. So I would be like, okay, this would be fine. But one of the things that I did with changing up, like, because I changed up my eating habits and I try to eat like all organic and different things like that. COVID really was the reason why I was like, oh, I got to get my life right. Because I had to build my immune system. And then I was just like, I have diabetes in my bloodline. I have hypertension in my bloodline. And it was like, I can't be eating all this crazy food and thinking it's not going to affect my body. It's affecting my liver. It's affecting my kidneys. It's affecting my heart. And so I started like researching what is good to clean out your liver and different things like that. I don't go shopping on clothes anymore. All my money goes to Whole Foods. Whole Foods get all my cash.
That's a nice swap though. That's
I'm like,
what in the world? And I be at Whole Foods like, I be so happy. Like, I love looking at the fresh kale and the stuff. And I'll buy stuff that I ain't never heard of and looking up how to cook it. And I be cooking.
Yep. I want to say this because no, I love that. And I want to say this. Somebody was asking about, we all represent different things that work for each of us. But I wanted to just share very quickly, the reason that I started doing the vegan thing, like if I thought about being a vegan, I would have been like, and I was like, I'm not doing that. It's too limiting. It's too restricting. But the reason I started to do it is because I felt some stomach pains that probably was nothing. But like you, Joy, I was like, oh my goodness, I got this in my family, that in my family. And I started watching Tabitha Brown. And what I loved about her was, in addition to her story, the foods that she was cooking seemed so easy to do.
Right.
And so when I started eating vegan and eating clean, it cleared my mind, the way I thought. I wasn't foggy. My taste buds changed so that I love flavors. And I love to cook now for myself and for my family. And so for those of you all who are interested, I think Valerie said she might be interested. Just start looking at some recipes, look at some Tabitha Brown videos. It's totally doable, and you really don't miss as much as you think you do.
I've tried I need to get what's the little thing? Because I've tried to do the bacon, the carrot bacon. Like I bought a whole bag of bacon, carrots. Yeah. And I tried to do it, but I don't think I did. I didn't.
I've never had that because that sounds disgusting.
That was bad.
Right.
That sounds disgusting.
She does.
She makes it look good.
Yeah, she makes it look good. So I was like, I'm try it. Yeah. And I don't know what I did.
So Matissa, do you think this is gonna be your lifestyle? Like you'll be a vegan forever?
That's a good question. I don't know that I would say forever because I don't want people holding me to that. And if they see me eating some meat, be like, I thought you were going to do whatever. But because then I'm going to be mad.
But it's been a long time though, right? Like 3 months?
It's been 3 months, yeah. I can definitely see eating plant-based, largely plant-based, and adding maybe some seafood and maybe some chicken.
Yeah.
I want to do it through November. I
could low-key be a vegetarian.
Say it again?
Yeah.
You said what?
I said I could low-key be a vegetarian. I could low-key be a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say no, go ahead, because it's not about food. So go ahead and finish your thought.
I was just going to say cheese is the only, because you don't eat dairy either, but there's wonderful milk substitutes and all that. But cheese,
yeah,
I don't like it.
And
you don't like the eggs. There's one that melts like real cheese though.
Well, I like it in macaroni. Like if it's in a dish, I like it. But like on a sandwich or something, I don't like it. I don't love it.
Letitia, you said something and it sparked a thought in my mind, and I was thinking about it. And it's even with Black Panther. One of the things, like he had colon cancer, and like that's like a cancer that most elderly geriatric population has, right?
Yeah.
And so what you said was that you had like some stomach pain, and we thank God for healing and all of that great stuff. But that was one of the things that I wanted to mention about that is like we have to know our bodies. Like we have to recognize like, okay, wait, the last time I had a headache is because of this, or the last time I had a stomach pain is because I ate this. Because like even like with colon cancer, especially if you're young, if you go to the doctor and say like, oh, my stomach hurts, or I'm sorry, gonna be nasty, like I had blood in my stool, most of the times they'll be like, oh, it's nothing, you know, it could be hemorrhoids or different things like that. But you have to know your body. You have to really pay attention and be aware of your body. Like seriously, like I cannot continue. I preach this to everybody. Like, no, like someone will call me and be like, something's going on. I'm like, okay, has this ever happened? You know, this and this and this. When was the last time it happened? You have to know your body, because we don't want us to have a diagnosis like that. Right? The quicker, faster we do something recognized, the quicker, faster we can get it healed, if you will. But when you said that, it made me think about like with that, like with especially with colon cancer. Again, at his age, he was 39 when he got diagnosed with it, and that's not really known. You know, young people don't really get colon cancer. So like everybody out there, start paying attention to your body. Start really taking care of your body and paying attention to it. Sorry.
Well, and I would say this too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, somebody was telling me that they were like, yeah, I want to try the vegan lifestyle because, and this is an older woman. She was like, you know, I hear that it's good for menopause and your symptoms and all that kind of stuff. And so my point in saying that is whatever you do, I do like that idea of doing research. You know, for me right now, I don't know that I'm getting enough protein, especially as much as I'm running. So I'm having to do some research. To make sure. But what I love about it, and this is the last thing I'll say, this isn't a fad diet. This is I'm trying to do this to lose weight. And that's what I really appreciate. It really is about making sure that I'm putting good stuff in my body, that I'm doing it the right way, and I'm seeing the results just in the way I feel, which is my barometer.
Yeah. You can tell. You can tell this is not a fad diet for you.
Yeah.
Like you really can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I saw Lawrence comment and said he's just glad you're not making them eat it. So do you still cook? Like you cook for yourself and then you cook regular food for your family?
I do. And this is actually something that somebody advised. So vegetables are the main component, and then I add meat for them. So that way we're all pretty much eating the same vegetables. Yep.
I got you.
But some stuff I make, they'll try. So
I know.
Where did you get those oyster mushrooms from?
Her taste dishes for you.
What'd you say, Teresa?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Who said something?
No, I was asking you, Matisa, where did you get the oyster mushrooms from?
Whole Foods.
I didn't see them.
And then there's an Asian market. It's called H Mart. They have every kind of mushroom you can think of. And I'm telling y'all, listen. And I told somebody this the other day. You don't have to be vegan to try to cook in a way that's vegan.
Right.
Get you some oyster mushrooms. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Now Dana's the dinner bell. Teresa, I know you can cook. Joy, me and you, we do our thing.
I'm gonna say do our thing. Honey.
I saw a recipe for some fried chicken that, for vegan style, it was oyster mushrooms. I'm telling y'all, it was so good. It's not chicken. I know that.
Right.
But it was so good.
I actually made some fried mushrooms the other day. They were the best thing. I loved them.
Like I've heard of fried mushrooms, but I was like, I don't remember them tasting like chicken. Like I don't know. So
it tastes like chicken, but it's a meaty.
It's a way you would just chicken.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I've heard like portobello mushrooms. They use that you can use that. That's a substitute for steak, I believe. So, but I want to try the oyster mushrooms.
Try them and tell me what you think. I bet you'll love it.
Send me the recipe.
I will.
Where do you get all your recipes from?
Teresa, why are you laughing? Teresa's like, I ain't even trying it.
I like eat them, but I can't eat a mushroom and think that this is meat. Like I was with friends the other day and they had vegan food and they were like, you can't even tell that this is not meat. And it was like,
You're like, yes,
I can tell it's not meat, but it's satisfying.
Yeah. Right. That's the thing about
like
it.
I love mushrooms and I'll eat them and I can eat fried mushrooms and I'm not gonna eat fried
but she's
mushrooms.
like, I want some chicken too.
Mentally, this is a piece of chicken. I'll have fried mushrooms with some fried chicken. That's good though.
That's
so
funny.
funny. I think one of the other changes that I made that actually Joya inspired is that because Joya doesn't take medicine when she's in pain. So I've been looking for more homeopathic ways to boost my immune system and less ways to take medication because I'm like, it's at the slightest headache, I'm popping 4 Advil or something like that. So I've been looking for more homeopathic ways to relieve pain. Those oils, essential oils, are amazing. Lavender oil is great for back pain and muscle pain and all those kind of things. And then just taking more, self-care seems to be the new buzz phrase right now, right? So I'm like into all of course, I love bubble baths, but sometimes the bubble baths have candles and fragrant oils
Their
and
whole spa.
fluffy bubbles.
That sounds good.
Sometimes I'll throw on some Beethoven, or I'll find one of those spa tracks, where they have the
I have downloads all on my Apple.
A lot. There are a lot.
The other thing that I do in terms of self-care, and this I guess is a mental health thing. I had a friend tell me one time, she was like, Matisa, you just need to take the pressure off yourself. Because I was telling her all this stuff that I was trying to do. And she said, Matisa, so one thing that I try to do is I think about that, because I do think during this time we feel like we can work 24/7.
Yeah.
And it's more projects. Probably some of us are working more now than we did before.
Yeah, for sure.
And so running is helpful for that, because I'm in the outdoors. Like, I'm not at the gym. I'm in nature, which is a blessing. But also I do self-talk where I'm like, okay, Matisa, you can't pile on a million things. You're still just one person. Yeah. Take the pressure off yourself. And that has helped me mentally.
I definitely, I have a conversation with myself every morning and tell me what I'm
doing. I have a mug that has all these affirmations that I say to myself. So it says, I'm powerful, I'm a spirit being alive unto God, I'm influential and I make an impact, I'm whole, I'm healthy, wealthy, and prosperous. I'm salt and light. I change every environment I step into for the better. I am love. I'm a soul winner. I am.
It's
some
custom.
Other stuff that I can't read right.
I love it. Speaking of which,
made, Dana.
Yeah, that's actually it's for our product line, but it's based from the book that I wrote, Dominate Your Day, where we do talk about like self-talk and like affirmations and like saying those things to yourself in a mirror and like really bolstering yourself. So cool. For some of us who are live by ourselves, we have to talk to ourselves.
Girl,
Sometimes you want to talk to yourself when your children are calling you a million times a day and you're like, I'm trying to work here. But that's funny. That's awesome though, Dana. Yeah, that's awesome.
Monica was asking for a few more holistic kind of remedies to relieve pain. I found some, so in addition to exercising, I found some really amazing stretching videos on YouTube. You should go and find some that work for your body type, because they have the little twiggy women on there and stuff. I needed somebody who had some meat on her, who could move like I move, but like stretching exercises really help. That's because cool. I carry my stress in my neck and shoulders and my back and my lower back, and I found an amazing video that it basically twists you into a pretzel, but I was like, it hits the spot like crazy.
That's good.
Peppermint oil is good for headaches. Foot rubs are good for headaches. Mm-hmm. Joy, what are some other
drinking water is good for headaches? Turmeric is good for pain. It all depends on what type of pain you have. Cayenne pepper is good for like nerve pain. Clove oil, of course, is my best friend because it's good for tooth pain.
What is that?
It's great. Clove oil. It burns your mouth, but it's really good for tooth pain. Garlic, of course, because it's an antibacterial. Antibacterial, antiviral. You want to always have that. ginger is good to have in your system every day. It helps like regulate your immune system that's in your digestive system. It's a lot of things that you can just incorporate that's not that hard. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to run around the grocery store trying to find it. It's stuff that's in your grocery store. Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
What are some other things that you guys do to relieve stress? Because
you
we
know
all
what?
kind of live.
Last Sunday, I don't know if I was stressed or I don't know what I was, and that's when I called you, Dana. We went out and walked in the trail. And like, it was like the moment I opened my door, I felt like, and I was like, oh my God, all I needed was some fresh air. Yeah. And that was like a very good walk until we got attacked by the bear, or the cougar. There was something growling in the woods. I promise. And I make up something in my head. Y'all know that. I was like, it's an alligator. He's about to come and get me.
I was like, oh, it's a dog. People are walking your dog. She's like, no, it's a bear.
I was like, that's not a dog. I know a dog's growl. It was a bear or a cougar, a lion.
Where were you guys? What trails?
It's in Roswell. Isn't it Roswell?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
No, it's Vickery Creek.
Yeah.
It's Vickery Creek.
It's
right over on the Roswell Mill.
Okay.
That's where I like. That's my gym.
Really stressed too, because once I was alive and the Lord didn't let me get attacked by the alligator and the bear.
The imaginary bear.
I was telling you it was an alligator, and I was like, okay, you got to run.
It really did sound like it was following us,
That's what you're supposed to do, right? If an alligator was to ever chase you, run zigzag.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he has small legs. I just felt like I needed to.
There it is.
That ain't gonna
Good to know.
And if a bear chased you, you're supposed to lay dead. I think that's how it is.
Okay.
Yeah. That ain't gonna cost you on nothing, but whatever. Continue.
I think being with people is a good thing. I know, we're using technology for people far away, but my family, this is really good. And I'll just say this for anybody who's trying to get their family out there. I didn't browbeat my family about my lifestyle or just being out there. I just did it. Now my kids want to go. Lawrence is going, and we just walk as a family.
That's cool.
That's cute,
and that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walk with my family, me and my dog, and it's not always fun, y'all. It's not always fun.
Yeah. And you really can't underestimate the power of exercise, because exercise, like, you really do feel better. You do get clarity, even if you're tired and achy when you first get out there. Like, once you get started, it's like, oh yeah, this feels really good, and you get those endorphins pumping. It really is a good way to start your day. And I found that on days where, like, there were a couple of times we had like these crazy thunderstorms, and it was like weird. Like, I meant to get out, and I was like, man, I can't go outside and play. And I was so cranky. I could not wait to get out.
Hey, First Lady.
Hey,
First Lady.
We love
but
you.
I couldn't wait to get outside and play.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
have you guys ever heard
it's just you have to go early because it gets so hot. Like by 10 a.m. it's 90 degrees. So you
99
have to go at
degrees.
6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And I stay up too late to really get up that early and function in society. So then I started going at night. Like, I'll go after I've been gone all day, then I'll come in and like run or like walk at 9:30, 10 o'clock. And it's just like perfect weather again. Yeah. And it feels so good. Like, I can do it late at night, and I need to just try to get up earlier so I can do it in the morning.
But the season is changing, so this is a good time because it's about to start getting cool. And
it's still 90 at 10 o'clock.
Hopefully.
Like, it's too hot right now. It's still hot.
Listen, that's the only reason why I go early, because I have to beat the heat. Because
it's just motivated. I wake up at 6 o'clock and go running.
You should do. I'm telling you, and I think Dana's point is so perfect. Like, when I get up in the morning, who wants to be up at running at 5 o'clock in the morning? But I want to beat the heat, so that's my motivator. Right. And then when you get out there, there's just no, for me, there's just no. Well, there's better feelings, but there's almost no better feeling.
Let's talk about those better feelings.
Well,
no, let's not talk about those better feelings.
Amazing children and accomplishments that I have.
Answer.
Having an amazing husband. Like, there's a lot of other. So my point is, y'all, that it. And also, I will say this: there's something about, for me, I am not accomplishment driven, but that's part of who I am.
Yeah.
So just the discipline, like being able to say that I ran 7 miles is like really cool. You know what I'm saying? So for me, you got to find, so my point is you got to find what motivates you.
Yeah.
That might not motivate you, but just being with somebody else might motivate you. So find that motivation.
Yeah.
And I really think that's what's going to help you be consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And just start somewhere. Start somewhere.
Start somewhere. Joy, just get up at 6 in the morning.
I'm going to get up at 6. I'm up at 6 anyway. I'm up at 6. And so I really am. I'm going to do it. Yeah. And it's kind of light because I was out, you know, all of this going on. I'm like, I don't want to, you know, be running in the dark, but it's still light. It's starting to get light. So it's enough light for me to go out and feel safe. Because I'm like, you know, I just want to make sure I'm safe. But
well, and you'll have muscle memory too, where it won't be as hard for you because your muscles will remember. Oh, we used to do that. Like this is what we like to do.
Why did you take so long? Yeah, I can't. I'm gonna do it. I really am. Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, I like
and
that.
the last thing that we'll talk about before we get ready to sign off, because I've got to get back to some work. I'm so
right.
Like 16 hours a day. So that's the other reason I have to get outside, get outdoors and go outside and play. But, you know, we do want to make sure that everybody watching knows that we do have our safe spaces counseling for free. You get a couple of sessions for free. So if you are feeling stuck, if you need to talk to someone, there are professional counselors available to you. And it seems, you know, mental health professionals are it right now. Everybody seems to be really embracing the need for counseling, the idea of counseling, the benefits of counseling, and kind of removing that stigma. So make sure you take advantage of those resources as part of your self-care process as well. And then we all know you're supposed to drink lots of water. Sometimes you have to find creative ways to do it, but drink lots of water and get rest.
Rest will do it. Rest will
that's what
rejuvenate your body.
You need to make sure you rest. If your body tells you it's sleepy, go to bed.
What are some of your wind down routines? And then we'll go ahead and log off for the evening. But let's go around the room. What are some of your wind down routines? TT?
I don't know. I like to read. Reading, or I've been really doing audiobooks lately. But like, if I can drive and listen to a book, like that, really, I mean, like that's my best thing to just pull all things into agreement. It's like if I can read or just listen to a book on tape and just drive. I love to drive. So like when I drive, it clears my mind. And I just came back from a road trip, and it's just like the best thing for me. So I guess unwinding, like even in the evening, just drive around. Sometimes during the day, I'll drive around my neighborhood or go look at beautiful homes, and it just kind of like decompresses all of the busyness of the day.
Yeah, I love that. Matita?
You know, I'm not the best at that, to be honest.
Really?
No, I mean, I'm a TV person. So like at night, we like to kind of watch TV, and we watch old stupid stuff that has nothing, you know, I don't have to think about it.
Right.
But, and I love it, you know, those old shows, but I usually watch it and then go right to bed after you pray and do all of those kinds of things. So I really need to do better with the routine, because I think that's important to get your mind together. Yeah. But we watch TV.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's actually my crutch. I have a sleep crutch with the TV. So I put my TV on, and it can't be something boring. It actually has to be something that I do want to watch.
I want to wake up and watch it. Yep.
As you go to sleep, you want to watch it?
Yes, I have to.
Because if it's boring, I stay up. It makes me stay up. I'm like, oh, this is so boring. Why is
That's hilarious.
it actually has to be something that I'm interested in watching for me to put on.
That is so backwards.
That's the only way I can fall asleep. I have to be like tired, dead tired, in order to go to bed with no lights, nothing. But in order for me to go to sleep, I have to have noise in the background. The problem is I need to start back doing the sleep button, because I would wake up like 2:00 in the morning and then turn my Netflix back on and then go right back to sleep. I have to have so, and I'm like Matisa, I don't have a real wind down routine. I get home, I take a shower, and I'll look up some stuff, and then I turn on my TV. And you know, you guys, I go to bed early, so I got about another hour. It's so I'm about to be in the bed, so I don't really have a wind down.
You're winding down right now.
Listen, I'm like, I start braiding my hair in a few minutes. Y'all don't hurry up. That's my wind down.
Well, thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of All Things New. And, you know, if you continue to take care of yourself, get in your exercise routine, treat your body right, you will be able to have all things new. Get on my nerves! Why can't we get that?
That was